Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give praise to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah, Hakwadash, and double honor to our apostles and elders of Grand Muslim who taught us the truth. But Shalom to you, Akim, that push the word across the four corners of this globe without truth and sincerity, by Hashem, Rakah, Hakwadash. It's like let's get a quick lesson, and I'm saying to touch upon the elder apostle Gabar's video dealing with this this J actor Noel Guglielmi, and as you see it, I'm saying he's on Drink Champs with Noriega. Talk about the MLTB, and really, man, this is not news to us, man. This might be news to them, but really, I'll just play the video because, immediately when he starts talking about it, you'll hear that, the second host of the Drink Champs podcast, Noriega's mans, he immediately says, the mark of the beast, I'll just go ahead and play right now.
William, he goes into the information dealing with the chip and how it's part of the New World Order. So without further ado, let's check out what he got to say.
It's the one world currency, and you get the chip inside of you, like Mark of the Beast. And what's going to happen is when they got
You see, so these jakes know, man. These jakes know, but Slucky, I'll keep playing Slucky.
That's headed towards that. Right. So the chip, it's to condition your mind. So it'd be like, oh, we've always been tapping. We've always been using cryptocurrency. We've always been, doing it this way. So when you get the chip, you ain't gonna think nothing of it because you won't be like, nah, they've always been doing it similar to this, right? So the chip, when they put it inside of you, is gonna be activated as your credit card. So long story short, now you could just, if they put it in your forehead or your wrist, now you could just slide your arm or slide your head, whatever they decide to put it in. And they're gonna say, oh, there's all these good things about it. And this is where they manipulate / trick you / deceive you. They're gonna say, you know why the chip is good? Because now no one could come up to you and just rob you and take your cash. You know why the chip is good? Because if you get kidnapped, I can find you and locate you with the chip. They're gonna tell you all these great things, but here's the part that they don't tell you. If you do not comply with the government, and you do not do what the government says, all they gotta do is simply turn that chip off. And now your credit card don't work, and now you can't even go to Carl's Jr. and get a cheeseburger. Now you can't even go get tacos or eat. And now, in order for that chip to be turned back on / activated, you gotta be under control and the mercy of the government and what they tell you to do to be able to even shop for food or whatever else is that you wanna get. And so all that is leading towards that, man. So I tell people
Yeah, God, man. As you heard, it's nothing different, than what the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, beginning with the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, then on down to the brethren, have been preaching that, have been saying, beyond the decades, even to this day. It's because we're in the last days and things are popping off, You see what's going on, over there in the UK with the, the mandatory, the digital IDs. This is the future, man. This is what's getting ready to transpire because it's all according to prophecy, man. It's all according to prophecy. This is getting ready to happen very soon. Yeah, very, very soon. But really, I'm saying these jakes already know. These jakes been know, man. Like You know, it's gotta take like a known celebrity for Jake to actually start listening and shit. You know, but man, I get that actually. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, or Sirach chapter 13. Sirach chapter 13, verse. Let's start at verse. Verse 21. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust also away by his friends. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuke him too. He spake wisely, and could have no place. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. And look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumbled, they will help to overthrow him, man. Like, what difference is what the fuck he's saying, you know what I'm saying, than you know, what the apostles been saying? You know, like, why can't they get the apostles, you know, on Drink Champs? You know what I'm saying? But, we understand, man. You know what I'm saying, that the Lord, he set forth the apostles last. You know, but this world, you know, and this dude's a Christian, by the way. He a born again, diehard Christian, motivational speaker. You know, a great actor. You know, all this other shit. You know what I'm saying, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, the elders been preaching about this thing, man, for decades. You know what I'm saying, since the 70s. So, you know, Jake got no excuse, man. This is why the Lord's gonna be only for the elect, man. You know? But then again, you know, you do got celebrities that actually, you know, that they actually do give credit to Great Millstone. We're not gonna name names, but you know, it is known, you know, amongst the circle. You know what I'm saying, that certain celebrities do give credit, you know, and they are, you know, learning from Great Millstone. You know what I'm saying? You know, they get big ups to the apostles and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, you know, we don't know who the elect may be. You know what I'm saying? So, you got hey, whoever they be, I'm saying that, you know, that's up Yahweh Hashem Yahshua's business, man. At the end of the day, you know, we're just doing our job. You know, but the majority of our people, you know, are choosing to be ignorant, man. You know, when they heard the same word back then, you know, they were scoffers. But now, you know, they tune into like a show like fucking Drink Champs. You know, they probably all up in the comments, oh yeah, the mark of the beast, right? Yeah, facts. But, you know, back then you was scoffing against that though. You know, and we're now seeing, you know, a lot of you know, taking back, you know, don't take much like we're seeing a lot of, you know, apologies now, man. You know, oh, you guys was right. You know, you guys are right all along. You know, like at that Jake, you know, who came across the brothers from New York. They told him that y'all was right. You know what I'm saying, the whole time. The guys on 34th and 7th, y'all was right. Y'all was right the whole time. I forgot, exactly what he said, but pretty much, he was saying how much, that it was right, man. And it's not us that's right. It's the spirit and power of y'all busting me outside, man. Because we're in the last days. This is prophecy, man. It's not us. I'm saying we didn't create this word, man. This is Isaiah 34, verse 16. Seek ye out the book of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim outside. I'll read that again. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim outside, and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. He hath cast the lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. The Lord ordained these things, man. The Lord spoke it, and his spirit is going to make it happen, man. The Lord spoke it, and his spirit is going to make it happen. Seek out the book of the Lord. What book? The Bible. And you can't just, crack open this thing like a fucking textbook, man. Like, no, man. I'm saying you got to be taught this book, man. Here a little, there a little. You got to be taught by a teacher. You understand these things. How should I know unless someone guide me? I'm if you're paraphrasing. You need a guide. You need a teacher, man. The Lord himself is not going to give you fucking epiphany and come down. No, man, the Lord's always dealt with prophets. This is why the Lord sent forth his prophets out in the highways and byways to seek out the elect, wherever they be. Wherever they be, they hear this truth and get hooked. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me go back a little bit.
Mark of the beast. And what's going to happen is when they got, so that's headed towards that. Right. So the chip, it's to condition your mind. So it'd be like, oh, we've always been tapping. We've always been using cryptocurrency. We've always been, doing it this way. So when you get the chip, you ain't going to think nothing of it because you won't be like, nah, they've always been doing it similar to this, right? So the chip, when they put it inside of you, is going to be activated as your credit card. So long story short, now you could just, if they put it in...
Yeah, cause like, one thing he did say is that, Esau's gonna deceive you to taking it. You're gonna be deceived into taking this thing because of how convenient, it sounds, or how sweet it sounds, miraculous it sounds. But see, he doesn't go into the judgment. I'm saying the judgment of taking the sea hit, man. You're gonna have a lot of Christians that's gonna buck up against it, but I'm saying your foundation has to be of Yahweh Bashim outside. Not no JC, man. You gotta snap out the ignorance, do your fucking research. You know what I'm saying? And, acknowledge the truth, man. If not, hey, man, you just go bury your head. Just go bury your head in the sand somewhere. But this is the truth, man. This is the truth, man. This is 100% truth right here, man. You gotta stop calling that nigga JC does not exist, man. You gotta start calling upon the true names of the power, man. And acknowledge them in spirit and in truth, in image, you know what I'm saying, according to how it is written, in spirit and in truth, man. You can't be ignorant, man, in these last days. You know what I'm saying? You gotta acknowledge the truth. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of Jake's gonna be deceived into taking this thing, man, because of how sweet it's gonna sound, how deceiving it's gonna be. You know, I'm so clumsy and losing my wallet. You know, why not just take this thing? You know, especially paraplegics. That's what Elon Musk is already doing. You know, with the Neuralink. You know, he's already making people, paraplegics, to be able to walk again and shit like that, man. You know, that's the MOTB right there, man. You know what I'm saying, with the forehead. You know, you know what I'm saying, you'll just be able to, like, do everything with just a thought. Play Apple Music through your brain. Hey, matter of fact, they even have a female that has a brain, a C-hip. She's playing video games with her mind. It's crazy, man. Bro, just like look it up, man. She's playing video games with her mind, man. She on stream and shit, playing the game and shit. Like, what the fuck? This shit bugged out. But this is the future that we're in. Right? You know what I'm saying? This is the future, as they say it, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the time we're in, man. You know. But yeah, come, man. I ain't want to make this too long, but I'll leave the link of the Apostles video in the description. So I pray and hope that your brothers and sisters find satisfying. Until next time, I say shalom.